You've read the Murim Manhwa everyone talks about. You want the next one. The problem is you're tired of wasting 3 chapters on a genius who can't even beat a random bandit. So here's the deal. Every single manhwa on this list has a main character who is stacked, broken, or getting there fast. Regression, reincarnation, hidden legends. It doesn't matter. These guys hit hard from page 1. Ranked from good to absolutely unmissable. Let's get started. Number 10 on our list is the Demon God. 100 children got thrown into Hengshan. 99 died. 1 walked out, Dan Hyungwoo, carrying power that earned him the name Demon God. Problem is, surviving hell doesn't teach you how to live. He joins the Hainan escort agency just to relearn what being human even means, while quietly building toward revenge on the man who put him there. At first, I thought this was another tortured kid gets strong story, and honestly, it kind of is. But what surprised me is how much time it spends on Hyungwoo being socially lost. It's oddly touching. The power fantasy is there. It's just wrapped in something more human than usual. Currently sitting at chapter 43+, the Demon God earns a 7.0 manhwa expert points. Solid setup, but it still needs a few more arcs to prove it can go the distance. Number 9 on our list is the martial genius who remembers everything. Jin Soo-eun regresses 30 years, but there's no cheat code waiting for him. He's still stuck in a third-rate sect with third-rate talent, and the demonic cult is still coming. No secret manual, no legendary soul possessing him, just memories of a future that's about to repeat itself. I'll admit the premise had me skeptical. Weak regressor is a crowded trope. What actually won me over is how sarcastic and self-aware Soo-eun is about his own bad luck. The humor makes the desperation land harder instead of feeling repetitive. At chapter 22+, this one scores 7.5 manhwa expert points. Genuinely funny voice, docked slightly for a slow power curve early on. Number 8 on our list is the youngest son of the Yunhei merchant group. Eun Seo-ho was a business prodigy murdered by the Murim Alliance for being inconvenient. He regresses back to his merchant training days and decides revenge doesn't need a sword, it needs capital. He's going to buy, trade, and outmaneuver the entire alliance into ruin. What really surprised me here is how satisfying it is watching someone win with spreadsheets instead of sword strikes. It's Murim, but the tension comes from deals and leverage, not just fights, which honestly feels refreshing. Currently at chapter 72+, this one lands 7.8 manhwa expert points. The power fantasy through wealth angle is genuinely unique in this genre. Number 7 on our list is Rebirth of the Divine Demon. Jung Cheon was Murim's boogeyman, a swordsman so strong his name alone caused panic. He died anyway. Now he's back, but not as a legend. He's reborn into a frail, mentally unstable noble's body, clan crumbling around him, sanity slipping by the page. At first, I thought this would be a straightforward strength comeback story. What actually makes it work is the horror element. His own mind is fighting him just as much as his enemies are. It's a genuinely uncomfortable read in the best way. At chapter 55, Rebirth of the Divine Demon scores 8.0 manhwa expert points. The psychological angle sets it apart, even if the art takes a few chapters to hit its stride. Number 6 on our list is The Heavenly Demon Wants a Quiet Life. The Heavenly Demon, the single most feared name in Murim, dies and gets a second shot at life. His plan this time? Peace and quiet. His body's plan? A frail young noble who could drop dead any minute, forcing him straight into the chaos of a courtesan house just to survive. I'll admit the setup sounds like a gag at first, but the comedy never undercuts how terrifying this man still is underneath it. Watching an apex predator try and fail to keep a low profile is genuinely one of the funnier hooks in the genre right now. Sitting at chapter 93+, this one earns 8.2 manhwa expert points. The comedy meets carnage balance is executed almost perfectly. Number 5 on our list is Surviving as a Genius on Borrowed Time. Young Yeon-shin was born with an expiration date. Nobody in his family expected him to see 20. His family wrote him off completely, but his talent for martial arts was undeniable enough that he built his own techniques from scratch. Then the clock starts running out for real. What really surprised me is how the story turns his weakness, a dying body, into the actual engine of tension. Every fight has stakes beyond winning or losing, because his own body might kill him first. At chapter 89+, this one racks up 8.5 manhwa expert points. The ticking clock premise gives it an urgency most Murim leads just don't have. Number 4 on our list is Absolute Regression. One line sums up the entire tone. Please send me back to the past. A swordsman who lost everyone he loved uses the great regression technique to rewrite his timeline and hunt down the one person responsible. No mercy, no hesitation, just a man walking back into history with a single target in mind. At first, I thought this would be a slow burn revenge story. What actually got me is how brutally efficient it is. He wastes 0 chapters second-guessing himself. It's lean, mean, and moves fast. Currently at chapter 114 plus, Absolute Regression scores 8.9 Manhwa expert points, one of the tightest revenge plots in the genre right now. Number 3 on our list is Nano Machine. Yaoan is the disrespected son of a high priest, not even born from an official wife, competing against half-siblings who were bred for power. Then a nanomachine from centuries in the future gets injected into his bloodstream, and suddenly the family reject has tech nobody else in this world can even comprehend. I'll admit sci-fi and Murim sounded like a weird combo going in. What really surprised me is how well the nanomachine mechanics are explained. It never feels like a lazy cheat code. It feels like an actual system with rules. At chapter 325 plus, Nanomachine earns 9.1 Manhwa expert points, insane chapter count, and the quality genuinely holds up the whole way through. Number 2 on our list is Return of the Mount Hwa Sect. Chung Myung was one of the 3 great swordsmen, the man who finally struck down Chun Ma and saved the world, then died on that mountain victorious and alone. 100 years later, he wakes up in the body of a child, only to find out his beloved Mount Hwa sect has completely collapsed into a joke. What really surprised me is the tone. This is one of the funniest manhwa on the list, but the comedy never cheapens how devastating his power actually is. Watching a living legend rebuild a laughingstock sect from nothing is just deeply satisfying. At chapter 175 plus, this one earns 9.5 Manhwa expert points, near perfect blend of comedy, heart, and raw power. And number 1 on our list is Murim Psychopath. Dong Bong-soo just wanted to log back into a virtual reality game. Instead, thanks to a clerical error by the Grim Reaper himself, he gets dropped into the actual real Murim as an actual genuine psychopath. No moral compass, no hesitation, just a terrifyingly calm menace loose in a world already full of schemers and killers. At first I thought Psychopath protagonist would be exhausting to read. What actually happens is the opposite. His complete lack of normal fear or restraint makes every single encounter unpredictable. You genuinely don't know what he'll do next, and that's rare. At chapter 38 plus, Murim Psychopath takes the top spot with 9.5 Manhwa expert points, the most unpredictable lead on this entire list. That's the list. If your favorite got snubbed, drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want your next binge lined up for you, hit subscribe, because this channel does this every week. Let me know in the comments, what should my next video be about? Top 10 completed manhwa recommendation, or top 10 villain MC manhwa recommendation?